Hey, what's up, lightboltjoe here. Today we're going to discuss the comedy film, The Sweetest Thing. So this stars Cameron Diaz, Christina Applegate, Selma Blair, a bunch of other people in this. This came out in 2002. This, I'm just trying to get my list back up. Sweetest Thing '02. Oh, Jason Bateman's in this. Watching this very quick, hour 20-something long minute film. Goes super quick, character development, proper pacing. You could tell this was written by a guy too. This had a lot of adult male humor to it. Whereas if a female writer wrote it, those jokes wouldn't have really been in it. I don't know how to explain it. There's like a certain way of like guy humor versus girl humor. I don't know how else to explain it. It's just the thing I've noticed by watching a bunch of things. Um, Watching this is the first time I ever saw Jason Bateman in like a beard. And then thinking back, I can't remember the first thing I've seen of his. Like whatever the earliest thing is. Like there had to have been something prior to, what was it? Identity Thief. There was Zootopia. Those were in the 2010s, but this was in the 2000s. So what other 2000s projects did I see him in prior to this? Was he in Horrible Bosses? Is it another 2000s film? Or is it a 2010s film? I don't know. I can't remember seeing Jason Bateman younger than this character now. And it's the first time I ever saw him with scruff or a beard before. So it's neat when you're watching somebody for so many years. And the most recent thing I just saw him in was 2024's Netflix's Carry On as the bad guy alongside Taron Egerton, who's trying to save the airport from that toxin, right? So it's just very cool watching someone's career for many years. But now I cannot remember what the first thing I ever saw him in was. I gotta backtrack on his credits list. First thing we ever saw Cameron Diaz in, majority of us, first thing we ever saw Cameron Diaz in, she's the main character of this, Christina, was The Mask back in the 90s. So like, and Christina Applegate, Selma Blair, they were in a bunch of 90s and 2000 films as well. A lot of projects of theirs. So it's nice to see familiar faces doing a project together, and they all work so well together. Three of them are roommates in an apartment in San Francisco, so it's a lot of climbing the hills and getting down the stairs and getting up the sidewalks and stuff like that. So it was a lot. It was entertaining. It felt like a local film, if that makes any sense. Like there's a lot of representation of that particular area at that time, which I thought was neat. I enjoyed the character development of that Christina party girl, club girl character, wanting something different. You know, the dream can change, right? Things change, people change, and that was showing the character development of that. She meets this guy Peter at this club, alongside his brother Jason Bateman's character, and so like, why is her mindset starting to change because of him? And then her and Christina Applegate's character wind up going to the town that they live in 3 hours away to crash the wedding of assumed Jason Bateman's character, but it turns out it's Peter's character. And you're like, haha, the plot thickens. So then it's a matter of, how does that work? If it's crashing, does he actually want to get married? Does his wife actually want to get married? Did they wind up at the end? There's a nice little credit stuff, bloopers, and then mid-credit stuff and post-credit stuff at the end as well. I thought was neat. There's a whole flash forward of them married at the end. So I thought it's appropriate. It's paced appropriately. Hour 20-something minutes. Does not bore, does not drag, does not slack at any point. It holds the attention. It's funny. That whole everybody and their mother showing up at the apartment scene at the end to help Selma's character, you know, get out of the tricky situation that her and the current male prospect was in. That was hysterical. I've never seen this entirety of the film. I knew it existed, but I've never seen it. So now that I've seen it, it's a good representation of '02. Clothes, technology, the way people interact with each other. It's fun. It's a fun representation. It's a fun film. I found no problems with the story. Sweetest Thing, 2002 classic film. On to the next review. Mahalo.